Hello, friends. Shruti Sugwekar from Solace, the Healing Studio from Pune. And why am I specifically saying from Pune? Because today I have guests and they are sitting in Germany and we are going to have a talk with them. Now, what is this talk is a little bit of a suspense because I think we are right now in the wedding season here in Pune at least or in Maharashtra, India. A lot of people have been waiting for the 2 years of the pandemic, and I think everybody is now ready to get married. So I have been attending so many wedding ceremonies in the last 1 month almost. But what I am going to share today is a little bit different. And because of the wedding season and because of so many people who are waiting, there is also another suspense of another question of whether these couples are going to go forward, how are they going to be, whether they are going to be good together, what are the challenges, what are the, I will not say difficulties, but how is the compatibility and many other areas. But I will share those in some time. But first, I want the guest to, introduce themselves because that is my suspense. So over to you. Yes, both of you, just
Yeah,
please
maybe I
share
should start.
your profile as such for the people, for the audience here. Yes.
Yeah. So my name is Raj Zavrekar. I'm basically from Pune, but I've been living in Germany since it's almost 6 years now, and happily married since 7 months.
Yeah.
Knowing Titi for around 2.5 years now, and yeah, we've been married since 7 months now, and living in Germany, so to say. Just
Yeah.
Well,
And hi, friends, back again. I think most of the Solace friends
yes.
know me from the previous videos that we have done. So, yeah, once again, I'm Aditi, and I'm really happy today to be on this video. I didn't think that 1 year down the line, this is the video that we'll be shooting with him
Correct.
in the frame. So I was working in Pune first, and I've been and brought up in Pune since last 28 years, and I've just moved to Germany with him because we have gotten married, as he said.
Yes.
And yeah, we are looking forward to having a great time here as of now.
Yeah.
And coming back to this video, I think we thought that we should share our experience of the counseling session that we went just before, uh, deciding whether should we go ahead with each other or not. So I have been going to Shruti ma'am since a long time as a well, like she has been my counselor and therapist and also a kind of mentor after that. And I could not think of anybody else to give me a proper, unbiased, neutral opinion about the whole thing because arranged marriage was a very new process for me, and there were a lot of doubts along the way with respect to personalities, compatibilities, insecurities, etc., etc. So I thought that I needed some third angle view of the whole situation that was going on between us, and that is when we decided to go in for this pre-marriage counseling session with ma'am. So, and I was really happy that she supported me with this.
Yes.
So yeah, you want to share how did you feel
That
about the
is more important.
yeah
Yeah.
whole process?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So for me, it was going for such a pre-marriage counseling session was completely new. I so counseling in general, and getting a professional counselor for your I would say day-to-day activities. I wouldn't call
Yeah.
it problems, but
Mm-hmm.
day-to-day situations you would face, and to just get so to say an understanding if you are coping up with these, how well you are coping up with them, and all of this was known to me. But the other side of it is if and when you are starting getting into a new relationship, and having a counselor or a third person
Yeah.
to just ask you questions, to show you how compatible
Yeah.
you are or how non-compatible you are,
Mm.
also in a good way. Just gives you the clarity of how you are as a person firstly, and how prepared are you for a situation like ours, where you are
Yeah.
starting a new family, so to say. And
Correct.
just reflecting on this idea of getting into some starting a new relationship and getting into a new life, so to say,
Yeah.
with
Mm-hmm.
people around you. And yeah, and how just to know how prepared you are. So I
Correct.
found that idea good. And also,
Yeah.
knowing the fact that this would be helpful, I went in for it.
Yeah. So I think it is because I can take that wee bit of a credit that I think Aditi is sitting next to you right now, because there was that there was that thorn in her head, that कीड़ा डोक्यात होता,
Mm.
where she felt that, oh my God, she was in that comfort zone of not leaving Pune
Yeah.
for a long, long, long time, and then leaving the country was something which was very, very, very challenging for her. And I think she was saying, "No, ma'am, I don't want to leave Pune." And I said, "Okay, if the only," I still remember the dialogue, and I said, "Is
Yeah.
that the only reason you are saying no to him?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Ma'am, yes, I don't. If he was here in Pune, it was absolutely fine and all." So I think
Yeah.
there was some kind of persuasion or whatever I did that time. But
Yes.
I think that's how you landed there, sitting next to him in the sofa right now.
Yes, yes, that's very much true. I
Yeah,
remember that very clearly. Like, I think after the whole question answer session that we went in the
yeah,
session went through,
yeah,
and I think the only point, the major point for me, or the only thing that was holding me back from being in this relationship or committing to this relationship
yeah,
was, it was a big step for me, because changing your whole
yes,
environment was something which I wasn't ready for. Like, I had never thought of it, even
yeah,
when we were looking at the prospects. स्थळ शोधत होतो तेव्हा either Pune, Mumbai,
yeah,
or somewhere close by. So even my parents were not ready in the
yeah.
beginning.
Mm,
And there are a lot of things that come with changing your country or the place of your
yes.
origin. It's the
But
language,
then
the culture.
marriage is about changing so many
Yeah,
things and getting out of your comfort zone. Like
yeah,
in one of the sessions, I remember I had mentioned in the pre-marriage counseling session that we did, Aditi, last year,
yes,
that imagine that म्हणजे घर जावे. I mean, if the guy has to come to the girl's house and stay there, then so he becomes kind of the other way around. The comfort zone is very difficult,
right,
for a person to leave. And in India, it becomes a little bit more difficult because of the system that we have here.
yeah,
Yeah, the conditioning that no, 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 the girl has to go to the husband's, house. So anyway, Raj, something for you. So the first time when she actually said that she was, I can see she was adamant. I think so. Yes. Yeah. And she was just not ready to listen. I mean, I remember she used to be stubborn. She said, "No, ma'am." I mean, that no is like she had created a wall in front of her that I am not going to say yes. And I think otherwise everything else was absolutely going fine. There were those tick marks that we spoke about, that this was right, that was right, and everything was working. But what was your turmoil that time, and what did you go through? That was it because of that you came into the pre-marriage counseling session? That at least then she will be convinced, or how was it? What was your take on that?
I mean, yes. At the start, we did have oh, together we did have our yeses and our nos.
Correct.
We want
Yeah.
to get into the relationship.
Right.
And as I said, we knew each other since 2 or
Yeah.
2.5 years. So we were always talking of this, that what would life be at this place, for example, or
Correct.
in or back home, or what could be the pluses and the minuses of
Pluses and the
we
yeah.
living
Correct.
over here and there. And it was always this one point which was really the biggest minus, or the biggest negative for us,
Yeah.
was she didn't want to live in leave Pune. It was not
Leave
about
Pune.
living in Germany. It
Yeah.
was about leaving Pune.
Yeah.
Professional, private,
Yeah.
personal life, everything was in it. But she did not want to leave Pune. However greener the grass was on the other side, she did not want to
Yeah,
leave.
I even said that to her that I said, "Ja Simran, जी ले apni zindagi," that kind of stuff. And I said, I mean, because I know she had never even dreamt of it, to be very
Yeah,
honest, that she will leave India and she will be out of India in some other country, and she had not even dreamt of it.
yeah,
So it was, I feel that it was more about thinking out of the box here. I
correct.
mean, of course, we can safely say that today, because last year it was a very different. It was a challenge for me also, to be very honest, to make this little girl of mine, understand that it's the horizon which is the limit. Not even anything else. And unless and until she opens up and brings out and sees that her personality can, get nurtured anywhere, and of course, and that is the secret, that was something which she did not know, that I knew you earlier, and that was the beauty. And so I knew I had met you, and I had always seen that you were a confident person, and I'd always known that you knew your responsibilities. Whatever meetings we had, or whatever we had met for couple of times, I think, but that had given me a very good idea about how you were. So I was just waiting, and of course that was something, behind the scenes, the drama was going on. I did not let Aditi know for a long time that I knew Raj, and I was like, okay, I just confirmed the surname, and because there are many Raj, there are lots of Raj. So
नाम
I
तो
just
सुना होगा
confirmed the last name. And I think slowly and steadily, I think Aditi had started, she had started liking you so much that there was a time when I think, I just opened that door and I said, okay, now you have to, say yes or whatever. I think I didn't need any persuasion at that
yeah
time.
I
So what
want to
exactly happened, Aditi, there?
yeah I want to add, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So the thing is, also when we were talking with each other whole of this since like
Yeah.
2019, all of this time it was a long distance conversation. So he
Correct.
was actually living here and I was living there, and because of COVID he didn't
Yeah.
had the chance to
Mm.
come here, and for whatever reasons. But the thing was, a long distance conversation cannot tell exactly how you feel about somebody. For me at least, it is very important to see that person, to
Yeah.
understand his aura, to understand his vibes that he's giving, or the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
vibrations. uh, I I think the main reason was that I didn't want to, even
Yeah.
talk to him a lot or engage in conversations or even start building a relationship, was because he was not in front of me.
Yes.
And because everybody has their insecurities from the past or whatever beliefs they have, so that was something that was holding me back to get into this.
Mm.
So first major point was because he was here, we couldn't actually start a relation in the first place. And
So you're not a believer in long distance
yeah,
relationship.
yeah, I wasn't.
Me
Because
neither.
I
that is very
thought,
important for the audience here, because I have had many of them who are very reluctant on a long distance relationship, because they need to see, feel, because we are humans, so
yeah,
Yeah,
we are those people who want each other in close proximity.
correct. So
Yeah.
when he came for the holidays and when we started meeting, when we started spending time together, so of course the way you said, whatever personality that you saw in him as being a responsible person,
Yeah. Yeah.
being a calm person, and somebody who's likable. So that is all of that was then understood by me, because that is when I started understanding ki okay, he's somebody that I can you know spend my life with. After
Hmm.
I started meeting him, after I started spending time with him, that is how you actually start liking somebody. Because unless and
Yeah.
until you do that, I don't think you can develop those kind of feelings which are necessary for a marriage or a relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Only
Yeah.
conversations are not enough for you to feel that those kind of feelings for somebody.
Yeah.
Because come on, like you are going to spend the rest of your life with
Your
that
life
person.
together. Correct.
So you have to know ki
Mm.
if you have those kind of feelings for them, do you trust them to that extent? Do
Correct.
you are you guys compatible with each other?
Mm.
Do you align with
Your
certain
thoughts. Yeah.
basic beliefs and thoughts that you have about life? Let's say, how do you want to
Correct.
spend your life? What is the kind of attitude or approach you have towards
Yeah.
life, towards
Mm-hmm.
your career, etc., etc. All of those
Yeah.
things you start understanding only when you are in front of each other and you
Yeah.
engage and spend time, and
Mm.
that's how you start, I guess, a relationship.
Connecting. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is how we connected. But yeah, of course, the end point was, or the main major role was, I wanted somebody to see it from a different angle. That is it just something that is liking, or
Correct. Is
or
it a
a
facade or
relationship,
is it?
or
Yeah.
is
Mm.
this something which is concrete, which can sustain for a
Mm.
longer
Mm.
time? And are we two people who can be together for the
Mm.
rest of our lives?
Mm.
Because sometimes it so happens that you start liking somebody immediately, and then
Yeah.
later on you realize, okay, this is not what I wanted. Like
Mm.
this is not how the relationship should have been.
Mm. Mm.
Maybe certain insecurities come in, or there are some past things that come in, or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
Absolutely.
So
Everybody
yeah,
has a
to
baggage.
know
Yeah.
that whether
Yeah.
it is just a fling, or it is just attraction,
Correct. Correct.
or is it
Yeah.
something real.
Yeah.
Correct.
I
So
mean,
when was the time when both of you understood this? So Raj, when you actually met her and you knew that Aditi is such and such a person and all that, when were you actually kind of convinced that she's not putting up that the good girl kind of gimmick, or she's not showing that everything is fine and kind of I am a good girl and everything. So that facade basically, because many a times it also happens. I mean, this is typically a case in arranged or each other. So right now the scenes are quite different. So it is not standalones as arranged marriages. It is like for both of you, you knew each other for 2.5 years, but it was not knowing from. So you don't wear that cap. Oh, okay. I am the would be bride, or I'm the would be
mm,
groom, and I want to get engaged or get married and all that. But you start getting to know each other, and then that acquaintance changes into connections, and connections into engagement, and blah blah. But generally, in because I've had mine is a love marriage, so this is very hard for me to understand that how do arranged marriages, how do you connect. So I just wanted to know with Raj and later with Aditi, both of you just share with me, and of course for the audience here, that when was that exact time when you felt that this is good in her, this is where I like this in her, which came totally unexpected maybe, or you have, so everybody, so like Raj, you will have your to-do list for a girl, that she needs to be like this, some outline. Okay, everybody is ready for a different type of a girl, doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
But there are some norms, like 1, 2, 3, 4, that this is something which she needs to have.
Yeah.
So from that background, what is it, or when is it that it literally, because looks can be deceptive sometimes. Sometimes a girl who's very very beautiful
Yeah. Yeah.
may or may not be good hearted, or she
Mm-hmm.
might be manipulative. Lots of cases
Yeah.
we know. So when was that time? And similar question for you later, Aditi, about you. When did you feel that it was Raj was right, and I can put my right foot forward and say yes, even when he is in Germany? Yeah. So Raj, over to you. When was it?
Um, I think it was so there were two instances.
Hmm.
The first one was when we spent time together, and
Yeah.
when we were talking of course, we were talking for a long time about all of these things.
Correct.
But when we were actually together and having this conversation face to face,
Hmm.
of living together, of obviously not living together, but then of how she is a person and how I am as a person. And
Yeah.
then after one, two, three, four, five, so to say,
Yeah.
meets or whatever you would call it, um, then you see that the person is now letting his guard down and
Correct. Right.
really,
Hmm.
really being the person as he or she is with
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
that was the first instance when we started talking of all of these critical topics. For example,
So was she vulnerable at any point in time with you? Did she really let her guard down?
um, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So that
Sometimes,
time you could feel that she has gone to a natural self, and that was
yes.
okay for you.
That was also okay. So
Ah, okay.
it
Yeah.
was good to also know a person, not only in the goods, but
Correct.
also as the person
Exactly.
she is.
Right.
So it is not just the goods that would drive that would be driving this relationship in the
Absolutely.
future.
Yeah.
And then you had then and then came really the second instance when we so she introduced me to this to the concept of having a pre-marriage counseling. And
Correct.
then I really thought of, okay, what would it be for a third person to ask the same questions which I have been asking her uh, in the past,
Okay.
uh,
Yeah.
sitting at a table and
Correct.
asking the
Correct.
same questions or more detailed questions
Detail. Yeah.
to both of us. So for me
Correct.
also it was a self-reflection of
Mm-hmm.
if I am being the real self in
Yeah.
this relationship,
Yeah.
or if I am just portraying it because, as she said, I like her, or it's a fling, or it can turn
Correct.
out in any different ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for me also it was I felt responsible also on my part to
Mm-hmm.
be really, okay, am I really 100% committed into it, and
Yeah.
is the third person, for example you in this case,
Mm-hmm.
convinced that I am what I am putting into the relationship, is it the real 100% that would drive this relationship or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it was then after that when I also realized, okay, now this is going in
Perfect.
the right direction.
Yeah.
The questions or the discussions that we had, I wouldn't just say questions, the
Mm.
discussions that we had,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the feedback that we got from you
Yeah.
as a third person, telling us about how you perceive our relationship
Correct.
in the 1 or 2 hour or 3 hour discussion that we had.
Yes. Yes. It was
Uh,
quite a long one. Yeah.
it was a long one, yes, and it
Correct.
was a good one and a long one.
Yes.
To just get this real feedback from you, that yes, this is the right thing, and that for me was the final seal on the deal.
Correct. Right.
That
Seal on the deal. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that
No,
convinced.
because you need confirmations. Huh? I mean, there was something
Yes,
which a third person, honestly, in this situation, it needs to be non-judgmental. That, I knew Aditi for many years, and then I wouldn't actually say कि नहीं 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 ये मेरी बेटी है, you have to take care of her, and and you need to go with the flow. It doesn't work that way. So I wanted, her to get the best of, everything, but of course, she also needs to put her right foot forward. So yes, Aditi, how about you?
Yeah,
What was
so for me, it was a process. Like, it didn't
yeah,
happen at one instance or in one moment.
yeah,
When we started meeting, or rather, when we were talking on phone
mm,
before that. So I am usually a very open person when I trust somebody in my circle.
mm,
So
mm,
if I find somebody who's understanding and who's close to me or who I feel comfortable with, I can share my vulnerabilities or I can share my insecurities with that person.
yeah,
I don't hold back or pretend that I am all okay and
correct,
inside crushing down. That is
mm,
not me.
mm,
So I am very expressive, and I started expressing myself with him on
mm,
the phone or when we started meeting. So as you brought it up, that being vulnerable is very important with your
mm,
partner, because
mm,
if that is something that you cannot do, then I don't know how will you manage your lows
yes,
when you
yeah,
feel low in life, and
mm-hmm,
that person is around you and then you cannot be yourself with that
yeah,
person. So I
mm,
don't know how people can manage that, but I think being vulnerable with your partner is very important, because he has to know what is it that is going on in your head without
yes,
judging you or without making it even more hard for you in that moment.
yeah,
So when I started expressing myself or when I started sharing my lows with him, the way he would react or the way he would handle the situation was really something that I was impressed with, or I
mm,
liked. Because as I remember having this discussion, that when you were talking to him, that I wanted somebody who would understand what I need, and not, and that too from a kind and passionate way, as in order
and
to
you
make
don't
the
want you don't
relationship.
want to keep on asking him
Yeah,
for it.
exactly.
He needs to
Yeah,
understand. Yeah, that
correct.
was your need. Correct. Yeah.
So I started understanding this over a period of time, that he knows exactly how
Mm.
to behave in a situation. As in, if
Correct.
I'm angry or upset, he doesn't has to get involved in my emotions and become angry and upset with me. He has
Correct.
to separate himself from the situation and handle me,
Mm.
or
Mm.
give me that support that I want
Support.
at that
Correct.
moment.
Correct.
So I was very impressed with that, and
Mm.
also his thoughts and my thoughts, as and when we used to speak about things, those kind of aligned. And yes, when we went into the session, the questions that were asked to us and the discussions that we had, even for me, it was you in the end, I would say, who made me believe in this relationship, because of course I was always scared of the unknown, or unfamiliar situations and
Yeah.
people in
Majority
general.
people. Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
I was always looking for something which is
Absolutely.
familiar.
Yeah.
And so you kind of threw a light on the whole situation, that if I'm asking for abundance, then why am I not going for it? When
Absolutely.
something new is happening, everything is good, better rather than what I would imagine in
Yeah.
my life, then why should it be a no? So yeah, I think over a period of time I understood that he's somebody that I can trust myself with. And to be very honest, still there is always, that 1 or 2% feelings which are of, fear, that okay,
Yeah.
I have committed to this person, but still, unless and until you get married and you see the real show, you are
Yes.
never, 100%
Yeah.
happy or convinced.
That's there with everyone.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so for me it was also when we got engaged, because the
Correct.
process that
Yes.
went in, uh, like doing things right from hall bookings to
Yeah.
shoppings and
Yeah.
etc. That was the that was the
I know. I remember
moment
you
when
were
I
calling.
was yeah, that was the
Yes.
one when I was
Yeah.
100% sure
Yeah.
that okay, yeah, this is how I wanted
Yeah.
it to
Yeah.
be. Because the way he was being in that whole process with me, and
Correct.
we were, doing everything together, even if it is my shopping. So he
Yeah.
was 100% involved in the same,
Yeah.
and he would do it
And that is a
proactively,
big thing
show
for any
interest.
girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that is very important. So he
That is
would
very
show
important.
interest,
That even,
and he
yeah,
would,
show
yeah,
interest and be with me in that shopping of
exactly.
mine. Yeah.
He would
Correct.
pay attention to all the details. He would ask the shopkeeper
Yes.
questions like, why is this so pricey, and why is this not so pricey, and what is this
Wow.
material, and what
Yeah.
is this material. So I was
Wow.
really happy.
Probably you never thought
Yeah,
about asking
yeah,
so many questions.
exactly. So that was
Yeah.
also a moment when I was
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, I think this is going good, and
Yeah.
all I need to do
Yeah.
is focus on all the positives
Yeah.
rather than thinking about what could go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, both of you remember the session that we had, and you are referring to it. I would like to give you a quick quiz, okay, for both of you.
We
So,
are not
what is it? So,
prepared.
what is it that you remember? So, there was this question: what are the qualities you like about each other?
Oh yeah.
So, Aditi, what is it that you like about him? Let me see whether I have a tick mark here, or
I
is
think
the list a bigger one now?
Yeah, I think I've mentioned all of these which I was mentioning before. He's very
Yeah.
calm. He can handle situations better than me. He's very
Yes.
responsible. He's
Yeah.
not somebody who will be judgmental immediately. He won't judge you immediately. He'll always
Yeah.
be open to your point of view and listen to you. He's a good listener. And yeah, other qualities like, just being kind and being, you know,
Yeah.
loving, caring. He's also very caring.
Yes,
So
of course
yeah,
he is.
all of those other
He
qualities that
got he
generic
got you
qualities that you
he
want.
got you all the baking material and he you all baked in Christmas, right? So
Exactly.
that is caring. That is love and affection.
Yeah, yeah.
Few
He's
things, Raj, would you like to know what she had actually written down? Because I have your questionnaire and the answers here. So
Yes, why not?
that's a little bit of a suspense which I have kept. So he is practical and easy to go with.
yeah,
Simplicity is to go with simplicity and is calm and composed, usually understanding or not, being judgmental, immediately cooperative. These were
yeah,
the words. Yeah. So more or less, all of them are the same. So
yeah.
not
Yes,
Yeah.
so there is no new thing that you know about him. So again, there is a consistency about how he was a year ago
yes,
and
yes.
how he
That's
is
very true.
today also. That is very important.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yay! So yes, you feel as if you are back in on Eiffel Tower, right? Raj?